Okay, this video is going to walk through how we use our multimeter. You can see our multimeter here with the two leads, a positive and a negative. If we have a look, then we've got our solar panel, which is over here. We've got our motor with, again, red and black, with a wheel attached so we can see the movement, along with our switch. So from here, we need to be able to always turn it off when we finish with it. You can see there's two key points that we need to be able to use. At the moment, we're on volts, which you can see at the top here. We're going to be using the 20 at all times. And in the center pin, you can see the red lead is in the center peg down the bottom there. That's a really important setup. When we're using amps, we're going to swap over the pin, but we'll go through that later. So solar panel, we're going to start by checking the volts. Flip that around so I don't get in the way of the sun. Turn that over onto the 20, which allows us then to go through and set up our lead. So red to red, black to black. And what we should be able to see come through, and the screen doesn't show very well, but we've got about 3.52 volts running through that circuit. So nice, good connections required. What I'm trying to do here is tilt it so we can see the variance that we're able to get on when we move this. So if I now make that more direct to the sun, you'll notice that we get a slightly higher reading. So being super direct is really important with the solar panels. Angled light doesn't get as much through as what we would otherwise. So now we've checked that. Let's flip it over and try the amperage. So that we're looking at the current. So let's start by swapping the red one over to the top pin and then dialing around to the 10 amps. So now when we connect it up, red to red, black to black, we can see we're sitting around 0.21, 0.28, sort of floating around there. Maximum we would expect through this would be 0.3 amps. So that's really nice as a setup. What we're going to do next is actually set up our circuit using the motor and the switch. So we'll go through connecting the red from the solar panel through to the switch, and then the red from the motor through to the other side of the switch. Now, if we need to reverse the motor, we could actually invert those, but it keeps it nice and simple to be able to keep them together. And you can see we've got the black to the black. So now that's all together, we can see at the moment it's a closed circuit with the switch closed. The motor is running because of the solar panel's power sending that through. When I stop it, you can see the motor stop. So an open and a closed circuit. What we're going to do is test the amperage first. So we're going to be checking what the draw of the actual motor is. So we're going to do this in series. So selecting those two, you'll see it should come out somewhere between 0.5 and 0.8 for the draw of the motor. So the next part we're actually going to check is the current of the entire circuit. So I'm slightly off screen, but you can see I'm checking basically the two cables attached to the solar panel. So once I've checked that, you can see the motor stops and we go up to that sort of 0.28, 0.3 that we would expect for the entire current coming through from the solar panel. Now the reason the motor stops is because we end up with a short circuit because obviously energy goes for the path of least resistance. We go back this way and we'll actually see the draw of the motor, the going in parallel and attaching this way gives us the whole draw of the current of the entire circuit. Lastly, we want to be able to check what our voltage on the circuit is. So again, we're going to dial over to the 20 and change the red to the center pin. And this one has to be done in parallel. So you can see each side of the, it's closest to the solar panel. So we go through, it doesn't change the voltage at all. So you can notice that we keep the motor running through here because it's running in parallel. It keeps the current splits, but the voltage remains the same. And then last but not least, make sure at the end we turn him off.